Hello, welcome back to another Think Well chat. So just as a little recap, these are a weekly opportunity for you all to come here and for us to just have conversations and real conversations. What I mean by that is, my name is Jess. I am a certified nutrition and eating psychology coach. So I talk a lot about just how to incorporate wellness into our lives, but the realness that comes with that. So I recognize that it's not always easy to incorporate a list of habits. It's really about mind shifts and trying to figure out where are these new things that you want to explore, whether that's nutrition, movement, self-care, how that really fits into the life that you already have, because I'm sure you're chasing big goals. I know I am as an entrepreneur, but also as someone who has been in the business field and kind of hustling for the past 6 years. I get it. I know that it's challenging, but I'm here for you. So that kind of brings us to our conversation today, which is all about stress and burnout. And I'm not here to tell you just start meditating, just start journaling, and life will magically not have stress. I think what we need to get real about is the idea that stress, it happens and it's a regular part of our life, but there's certain thresholds that we as humans are meant to endure. And the reason I'm saying that is because the concept of burnout, it happens. It's happened to me up to a point where essentially for half of a year, I didn't know who I was. I didn't know how to operate. I felt like I was just in survival mode, honestly. Getting up in the morning felt like success. Eating meals and making sure that I was staying on top of my own wellness. That's kind of what got me through this period where I just was taking on way too much. I'm a people pleaser by nature, if any of you can relate to that. And yeah, it was such a dark period, but I didn't see it exactly until a few months in. And so that's why I want to talk to you all about it today. So here we are, right? Like, life's busy. You probably play so many roles in your life, whether you're a parent, a sister, you're a partner, a friend, even just the demands of like being a bridesmaid or attending weddings or being a good coworker if you are at a place at your career where you're really trying to build up and prove yourself. All of these things can make it seem like there's literally no time in the day. Like, there's no way that you're going to be getting everything done that you want to get done or honestly feel you need to get done in the day and the time that you have. And so if you can relate to that, which I know many of you most likely can, we talk about this, my clients and I, all the time. We're put in positions sometimes that it feels like, how do you possibly get through this, right? Because you know you need to slow down most likely when certain signs start coming up, which I'm going to touch on in today's talk, is how do you feel those first signs of burnout and kind of get ahead of that the best you can. But ultimately, we usually don't notice that things are getting to a point where it's impacting our health until we're already in the thick of it, and then it's really difficult to get out of that. And I also know that when I was in the position where I felt like that, the concept of slowing down or, reducing stress, like, it sounded great to me, right? Like, I wanted someone to just hand me, like, okay, I get it, but hand me something. Like, what can I possibly do? And I was trying so much. I wasn't just sitting back. I did try meditation every morning. I did try journaling. I did try moving my body in all kinds of ways. Heavy cardio so that I can get my mind off things. Then I went to Pilates, slow movement. Then I went to not working out at all. And I'm saying this because I want you to know that I relate to you if you feel this way. And even as a coach myself, it's hard to know what you actually need until you tune in. So that's why we're here today. First, let's talk about some of these signs of burnout, okay? So if you feel like you're on autopilot, which I think is something, again, that you don't necessarily notice is happening until you're actually in it and you're like, wow. So ask yourself a few questions, right, to reflect on this. Do you feel like you're truly present in moments of your life, or that you're almost thinking ahead with this like to-do list, whether it's in your head or a physical to-do list, that, okay, I've got to do this, and then I've got to do this. And while you're at lunch with your friend, you're thinking about the assignment you have to work on after that. Or while you're at dinner, you're thinking about the workout that you have to do tomorrow morning. These things can become, there's schedules and there's consistency, and trust me, your girl's a planner. But there's also this mode where you almost aren't in your own body experiencing these things anymore, because it really feels like if you don't schedule it out, you're not going to get it done. So then when you're in this autopilot, where the heck is wellness coming in, right? So you might be scheduling your workouts. You might be thinking ahead to what you're going to meal prep for the week, and that's all great. But what matters as far as taking care of yourself in those moments the most is honestly your self-care, your ability to give yourself time to hear your thoughts and how you really feel about the situation. One of the easiest things to do is to tune out what you think and what you feel. Because sometimes it does feel easier that, you know, if I don't think about how upset I am that I don't have time to do the things I want to, or that I've said no for the 5th time this week to a plan, or to, I get a group message and I get overwhelmed because I don't even have time to look at it. If you think about those things, yeah, it's going to come up, and you are going to hit a point, because burnout, there's different phases, but you do hit a point eventually where your body's just shutting down. Like, no more, can't take on anymore. And I totally relate to the fact that you don't want to hit that point. So sometimes what we do is we suppress our emotions. And what I'm kind of getting at here is that when you feel that sense of burnout, so whether it's the time, right? I don't have time. I just, like, time just feels like your enemy, honestly, in those moments. The other things you could start to notice is, you know, you're rushing through meals, and potentially are you experiencing a little bit more inflammation and bloating in your body? Are you having trouble sleeping? Do you feel more irritable? So little things throughout the day, it's like, you know, I just can't take on one more thing. It could be having fatigue, like really crazy fatigue, where you're running on caffeine, you're running on coffee, and you kind of feel like if someone were to tell you, hey, like, there's a national coffee shortage, you can't have coffee for a week, that your life would literally, like, how would you operate? All of these things are good signs that it's time to check in. And I understand, right? You don't have the time to do that. But I would say that even 1 minute, literally 60 seconds of starting your day and saying, okay, where am I at? How is this situation making me feel? That is so extremely powerful. And while it might lead to those moments where, like, and this happened to me, right? It might lead to the moment of, oh my God, I need to slow down. Like, this just is not sustainable anymore. That's hard. Like, I'm not gonna lie to you. It's really, really hard, because then you do need to have conversations with people, set boundaries. And that would be, it's not, this isn't a quick fix, right? This isn't the magic pill. But that would be my best advice, is just when you can listen to yourself and you can start having conversations with other people, even if it's talking to your boss and saying, hey, you know, I'm ahead on all my tasks. Here's what's on my plate right now. I am feeling a little bit like there's a little bit too much going on right now in my life. And I just was wondering if there was any flexibility to possibly move around some deadlines, or can we revisit possible delegation? Is there an area where you can delegate work that you're not currently doing? If the conversation maybe isn't what you need to have at work, maybe you are your own boss, maybe your full-time job is honestly being a mother or a parent. There's so many situations here, right? Maybe it's not work. We all assume that burnout happens at work, and it definitely, that can be something that perpetuates it. But is it a conversation with your partner potentially? Hey, you know, like, it would really help me out and make my mind feel at ease if you could help me with the dishes while I have these crazy days, so that when I get home, or when I, you know, come out of my home office or whatever it is, that the dishes are done. And that is one less thing that I need to add to my list. These little things can honestly be so helpful. I mean, I know like the thought of even just asking someone to pick you up a coffee, you know, something very small like that, you start to remember that there is a community around you. And I mean, I hope that right now you're thinking of at least 3 people that you could ask to just support you, just little things to support you. If not, that's okay too. I'm here in that capacity, and I'm always here to help, whether we're working together through coaching or you're just tuning into these chats or you want to talk over DM. I'm here for you. And I think that was one of my biggest learning moments when I was going through my period of burnout. I'm someone who doesn't like to accept help, and it's not because I'm stubborn, it's more so because the way I grew up was be independent, be mature, real life hits you quickly. I did not have parents who did everything for me. And I'm so grateful for that, you know, like I have an amazing, amazing family, but I had to become independent very early, and later in life I noticed how that kind of made it hard for me to ask for help or to say, I actually don't know what to do right now because my mind feels like such a crazy place and I feel so much weight on my shoulders and I don't know how to move forward. In those situations, again, I'm saying this to acknowledge that I know it's hard, but being able to actually open up and to go to my friends and say, hey, I can't respond to this group thread right now because I'm so burnt out and so tired that I can't even think about anything else. That's something I never would have done, but as I started to do that, I almost was reminded of what's always been in front of me. I have a supportive group of friends. I have the support of this community. I have this as my outlet to share my experiences. And you know, that's why I've always done this, because if I can share it, like this is what I needed to hear. Not that you want to see someone else, you know, shop for pain and be like, wow, everyone's stressed, but there is a way through it, and usually it's with the people who are around you. If you don't have a supportive boss or feel that comfort, maybe you can find safe space in one of your coworkers or, you know, someone who's in your career field. There are so many resources out there, and like I said, I always want to be one to you. So if you are in a period where you are experiencing burnout or you do feel that stress coming on, I just want you to know it's normal. Number one, let's just say that out right now. There's definitely things you can do about it, but take that time, ask yourself the question of, how do I feel? Sometimes it's just a matter of realigning, asking yourself and feeling good that you are the driver of your life, and there are people you care about, of course, but you are the driver of your life, and you are the person who can advocate for yourself the best, especially when you're burnt out. If you're not expressing that to other people in your life, you have to be the first person to advocate, and then open yourself up to talking to friends, talking to family, you know, messaging someone on Instagram who is expressing similar things, whether it's me or other people. This is your community, and you should feel that support around you. But again, don't discredit the power of your own mindset. Once you start to say, you know, I do deserve more than this, or I can change things, I can delegate things, like I have the power to do that. So I have a few blog posts out right now. I'm releasing a new blog post every week. I'm here with you on the Think Well chats on YouTube every week, and I post on social media regularly. So please, I hope you find support in that, and I thank you for tuning in. I'm excited for our topic next week, and until then, take care of yourself, put yourself first, and take this time to reflect.